Oh, now that I'm finally done my top 50 animated superheroes episode list. Oh, I'm just gonna sleep for days. You know, I'm just so glad that I don't have to do another list. I'm just gonna not do another list for a while. Take a break from that. Oh shoot, my top 10 best movies of the year! Oh crap, now I have to do that! It's laser time and we're gonna do a review. Yes, we're gonna review. Talk about movies and comics too. Let's all go watch the review. Yeah. Hey there! How's it going? I am Lazerdude and welcome to the top 10 best movies of 2018. In 2019. In February. Okay, yeah. As you might notice, I've been a little bit busy working on another big list, and so I fell a little bit behind with this one. 2018 is a really interesting year when it comes to movies because while there wasn't a ton of stuff that was the best ever, or there wasn't a ton of stuff that was super amazing, the stuff that was good was really good. You know, the things that hit the mark right out of the ballpark, and you were just genuinely surprised at how much you enjoyed them. And so since I'm so late, I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into this. These are the top 10 best movies of 2018.
I'm pressing on. All my distress is going, gone. Pressing on.
Number 10.
And I won't sit back and take this anymore, 'cause I'm done with that. I've got one foot out the door, and it go back where I was would just be wrong. I'm pressing on.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah, I didn't say a word about this film when it came out. I didn't do a review. I didn't do a quick review. I didn't even mention it on Twitter or anything. So you might have even thought that I didn't see it. But I did see it. I just didn't mention anything because, honestly, I don't feel like there's anything I need to say about this movie that the other two Mission Impossible films that have come out recently. I feel like it applies to them too. There's a lot of the same twists and turns, but there's still enjoyable twists and turns. And Tom Cruise is still just doing whatever he can to make sure he dies on camera. The action was enjoyable. I like the characters. I like the way they wrapped up some story elements. Overall, it was an enjoyable action flick. But still, Henry Cavill, you could have shaved the mustache. Number 9. Upgrade. Now, Upgrade was a movie that I saw with my family, and they actually hated it. But I kind of got a little bit more out of it. I liked the movie. I didn't see it when it came out. I saw it on DVD. But I liked the movie for the fact that this is taking a story and taking it to its full dark potential. You know, this isn't a movie where it's a happy ending at the end and everyone gets to go their separate ways. It's a movie that leaves you with a feeling like, okay, so that just happened. But for other people who might think that's a bad thing, I'm thinking it's a good thing because it's just like, I don't get that feeling that often in movies. I don't get that feeling. But that also is the reason why it's kind of low on this list. A lot of the characters, I don't really get delved in the motivations except for the main character and the kind of the computer chip thing in his head. But beyond that, everything else is like, I don't get what you're all about here. Still, the ending is one that will really make you think twice about getting a Google Home. The most disappointing movie of the year. First Man. You know what? There were so many movies I was considering for most disappointing movie of the year. Honestly, there was like a lot that I was thinking, man, I was disappointed with the way this turned out. I mean, Venom was disappointing, but I kind of still enjoyed Venom. Ralph Breaks the Internet, that was really disappointing for me. But I'm giving it to First Man because this should not have been a boring movie. I mean, my gosh, Ryan Gosling, I love you as a Canadian brother. Not that I'm his actual brother, since he's also Canadian. But you were so boring. I mean, the entire movie, he's supposed to be playing Neil Armstrong, and I know he's trying to play him as an everyday guy, not a larger-than-life character, but his character is just so dull. I mean, there's a moment where he comes back from the moon to Earth, and he's having to sit in discontamination to make sure he doesn't have any space diseases. But, he gets to see his wife, and his wife, who, of course, was very concerned for his safety, and they just stand there in silence. They don't say a word. There's no, oh, how was it? There's no nothing. It's just like, I get that you're trying to make him feel like, but there was no emotion with anything. Anything, ever. This entire movie, like, characters die, and he has this stoic face of nothing. A blank expressionless movie. I was honestly falling asleep in this movie. This movie should have felt way bigger, way more epic, and I know it was focusing on the astronauts actually landing on the moon, but, maybe some shots of people at Earth watching at home this momentous occasion and how big it felt would have been nice to have too. Number 8. Incredibles 2. It's not the movie we wanted. That's what I've been kind of saying, and I think some people have been saying too, is this isn't exactly what we wanted Incredibles 2 to be. Because it's just the wait had been so long. We had been waiting so long for these characters to continue. We wanted them to grow up with us. We wanted them to be growing with us and moving forward, and it doesn't. It stays where it was, continues right off after, but it's, I don't know, I think it's just something that's just a little jarring about that. But anyway, my point was, it's not the movie we wanted exactly, but it is a very good movie in its own right. The villain's motivation is still very weak and still very predictable and doesn't fully make sense with the way it's handled, but the effects on the villain are really good. That the fight scenes with Elastigirl and her whole side of the story are absolutely incredible. Bob is actually sympathetic in the way that he's handling things, and he's not it's like you've had these sort of situations where a guy has to look after his own kids now, and look all the struggles he's going through, but they go through that. He's not used to doing this stuff, he's not exactly comfortable with it, but he's putting his all into it. And Jack is a baby character who's actually pretty funny and has a lot of laughs. What can I say? It might not have been the movie I wanted, but it was still a very good one. It's like when they get your order wrong at a restaurant, but you still kind of enjoy what they gave you anyways. Number 7. Deadpool 2. Deadpool 2 is on this list just because it was such a thrill ride. I love the way they handled the characters. I love the big jokes that they have going on. And while some of it felt fully forced and set up, the way that they've brought the character to the point, you know what? I didn't mind as much. I still don't know what actually happened in this movie because of the whole time travel thing at the end. I mean, did that happen, or was that just an end credit sequence? I don't know. I can still say this just was one of the movies I had the most fun with this year, and a sequel that definitely didn't disappoint. What the heck was that? Sorry to bother you. Yeah, what the heck was that? Okay, it's like, now, here's the thing. When I saw this movie is when I was at my aunt's house. I was staying there for a few days as I was finding out if I had a job or not. And I do, new job. But anyways, neither here nor there. I was at her house and she was like, well, what do you want to watch? Yeah, I have this movie streaming service. And I saw this movie and I heard things about it. But I thought it was just going to be a more sort of like quirky movie that's about, race relations, but a little bit more serious, takes itself more seriously. And I thought that's what I was getting for the first half. Then it jumps the shark, kills the shark, and then goes back over the other way, over the moon. I don't know, it's just this movie went nuts. And I don't worry, I get what the message is. I'm not like wonder what this symbolizes. No, I get it. I get that it's talking about how, black people, that they're always fighting for equal rights until they get the position of power, and then they just don't try to oppress the system that they're trying to, that they claim is corrupt until they're a part of it. And I get that there's a whole thing where lower income housings are basically used as workhorses, and how they basically are slaves because they have no other jobs that they can do because they don't have income housing. I get the movie. I do. It's just way too out there, way too weird for me. Number 6. Bad Times at the El Royale. This is another movie that I didn't get to review. I guess it just, I never got around to it. I was going to do a quick review of it. I even started writing it. I just never got to finish it. But what I liked about this movie is just the way it formatted its movie, presented it in a way that I couldn't predict exactly where the story was going to go. And I was so happy about that. You like, I'm telling you, these days, finding a movie that isn't predictable or you can't exactly tell what's going to happen at the end, that is such a relief. Like, that's a movie that I want to see. And this movie had twists and turns that I didn't see coming and that I really enjoyed. Now, true, it's kind of because it keeps its cards so close to its chest that it only reveals half the thing. So it's not like a twist that I could have guessed or figured out because, they didn't show me their cards yet. But still, the way that it's presented makes it a lot of fun to watch. Now, it's not a movie that I don't think I'm going to get this on Blu-ray or anything like that. I enjoyed seeing it once, and I enjoyed it for what it was. I think that once I know what's going to happen, a little bit of the effect is going to be a little lost on me. But still, I recommend seeing it once. I recommend anybody seeing it once. Bad Time at the El Royale has great atmosphere, good acting, and I love how it's just all these different characters doing all these different things that happen to clash together once at the El Royale. Number 5. Black Panther, the movie that if you say it doesn't deserve the Best Picture nomination, you're racist, and the movie that, I don't care about the controversy. What do I care about? I just really like the movie. Who cares about the controversy? Screw the controversy. Let the controversy go where the controversy go to die. Black Panther was just a lot of fun. It was immensely, I know it means a lot more to somebody else than it would to me, because they can relate to it in a way that I cannot. But overall, I still thought it was a great movie. I loved the characters. I loved how they work the different dynamics, the brother-sister characters, the guy and the girl that he likes, different characters. And I love how they use Wakanda, but they also use Wakanda in a different way. How Wakanda, on the one hand, is also like this purest country. This is a country that wasn't ravaged by slavers. This was a country that wasn't taken by, the advanced white races at the time. This is a black country that has more power than any other in the world. But then I love how the questions they bring up with the villain Killmonger, played by Michael B. Jordan, and how that is like, well, if you have the power, now do you become the oppressors, and does that justify it because of the past and the wrongs that were done to you and your people? The villain is sympathetic, and we totally see where he's coming from. One of Marvel's best, and I just like the character of T'Challa. I just like T'Challa as a main character. It's not my favorite of all the Marvel movies that have come out, but it's still pretty darn good, and you're not going to hear me complaining about it being nominated for Best Picture. I'm not going to complain about it. Good movies deserve to be recognized, whether they have action or not. You don't always need Meryl Streep in your film to get nominated. Sometimes you can just be pretty cool. Still, that most popular film award that they were planning on giving, that would have been a terrible idea. Number 4. Black Klansman. This was a movie that I thought it worked the exact right tone it needed to, which is basically, let's laugh at some racists. You know, and it works in a way that we can find our main character and the main character duo. The duo between John Washington and Adam Driver's characters really work off of each other very well, and I really like what they are able to do. And honestly, it's just fun to laugh at how stupid the KKK was. The KKK is one of those things where there's nothing wrong with being, non-sympathetic to them. In Red Dead Redemption 2, whenever I came across the KKK rally, I didn't leave anybody alive, let's just say. By the way, I'm just saying that in the video games, you can do that. Don't go out and kill KKK members in real life. Okay? I'm not saying that. But the movie just does a great job of just showing prejudice, and that ending, man, that ending comes... The way it goes from the fictional world to the real world, it's like... Dang. Number 3. Creed 2. The one thing that I can take away from Creed 2 that I don't really like is I don't like how they forced, I know they kind of had to, but I don't like how they forced Rocky and Adonis away from each other in the beginning. And I get why they had to do it, and honestly, it's not even they wrote it in a way that didn't make sense. They wrote it in a way where it made sense. I just like Donnie and Rocky together. Those are just the movie and its characters I love so much because, here's something I loved about the movie is, as I said in my review, they take the relationship Adonis had with his girlfriend in the last movie, they take it forward, move it forward. What's the next stage of life? What is her struggles that she has to go through? What does that mean for their possible family? It's everything moves forward with the characters and plot, and I love that. You never just take a step backward. You're always moving the characters forward, and that's what the movie does. All the characters in this movie, at the end, get to move forward. Rocky gets to move forward. Adonis gets to move forward. Even the villains, as I said, played by Dolph Lundgren and, oh crap, I don't know who the other guy is, but plays the Dolph Lundgren's character son. Those two are extremely sympathetic, and they're given just these little scenes that make them totally understand their motivation and why they want to do what they do. Creed 2 is a great sequel. I love it. I still don't know what I feel of it as the first one. I gotta watch those back to back. I still think I might like the first one more, just more because we get more Rocky and Adonis together. But I don't know. It's a tough one, man. Creed 2 set the bar really high. Number 2. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Where the heck did this movie come from? Actually, I would like to point out that I was one of the few people who had faith in it. Yeah, because I put it in my intro. You can look back to the intro and you'll see it. Yeah, but also Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom's in that intro. Oh well, you had your bets. But anyway, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was so much fun, and I didn't expect it to be as good. I thought it looks pretty good, but I didn't expect it to be as good as it was. It gave Miles Morales a full-on character that I can understand and relate to. It's like I tried reading him in the comics, and I didn't get the exact feel of what differentiated him from Spider-Man other than him being black. I wanted to get more of the character. What's his character differences, and why does he want to be Spider-Man at all? And in this movie, they set everything up perfectly, and this movie excels at exposition. I don't think I've ever said that, but there are times where they need to just exposit some stuff to you, and that's where the movie just excels in humor and storytelling, and I've never seen a movie excel at exposition like this one does. It's very funny, very entertaining. It possibly could be the best out of all the Spider-Man movies. I don't know. I haven't thought this through entirely, but in terms of just being a Spider-Man flick and capturing the total zaniness and craziness of the world and the characters and just the whole thing of, Spider-Man never stays down. He always gets up. that is just what this movie grabbed onto perfectly. And, you know, it was a great movie. I loved it fully. And, yeah, if you haven't seen Into the Spider-Verse yet, just see it. Just watch it. I don't care how you do it. Pirate it. Don't pirate it. I'm joking. But just do whatever you can to see this movie. Get it on DVD, because I want to see sequels. I want to see spin-offs. I want to see it all. This is the type of franchise I want to see a Sinister Six movie in. Live action might be too convoluted.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
And the worst movie of 2018 was...
you again, because a vision softly creeping.
The 1517 to Paris. Oh my gosh. I honestly don't know if I could have made it through this movie if it wasn't for my friend helping me make fun of the movie and throughout it. It was so bad. This movie, you do not get people who are not actors to play themselves. And there's a reason for that. They can't act. But not only that, not only can they not act, the actors that they have in this movie also can't act, because it is written horribly, and most of it is pointless. The entire movie should take 5 seconds. You know? A terrorist gets on the train with a gun, points it at somebody, it jams, and these guys tackle him. That should not take an hour and a half to tell, because it doesn't take an hour and a half to tell. 75% of the movie is just their vacation and them growing up. That's it. And none of it plays into anything for the climax. You know why? Because it doesn't have anything to do with them in the climax. I don't know. It was so pointless and such a nothing movie that afterwards I thought, that is one of the most pointless movies I've ever seen in my entire life. And the number one best movie of 2018 was... Infinity War! Yeah, this is the movie that dominated the year. Everybody was making references to this movie. Everybody knew about this movie. Infinity War was so big. Endgame is barely showing anything in their trailers because they know, we already got you. You're already hooked on the line. We don't need to tell you anything. I'm not going to show a single action scene if I can help it. You know why? Because I'm wanting you to experience it in the movie. Honestly, the less they show, the more I'm intrigued. Just showing me the title, Endgame. I'm there. I'm already there. I'm in line for the theater right now. But Infinity War is what set everything up perfectly. It's such a wide ensemble movie that's been juggling characters that we've gotten to know over the last 10 years, and yet all of it feels not convoluted. It doesn't feel like X-Men had less than half these many characters, and yet this movie got them way more development than any of the X-Men, with the exception of, Wolverine in the X-Men movies. But you know what I mean? It's like all of them got the exact amount of screen time that they needed. They all got moments. They all had stuff. And then that ending, man, that flippin' ending is just the thing that it defined the year. 2018 was if there was a moment of 2018 that was the biggest moment in all of cinema, it would have been that. When people look back to 2018, they're going to think of that moment. And honestly, let's just say I'm sad that I didn't make it. Dr. J and my other friend Lex Presley made it. I didn't make it. But it remains to see what happens to me in Endgame. But anyway, Infinity War was the movie of the year. I'm giving it a Movie of the Year award because it encapsulated the best things that we've all been building up to for the Marvel movies. It's all been building up to this, and it pays off. It works. It completely, utterly works. So, that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'm going to take a break from lists for a while now.
Be sure to check out some of these other videos on my channel. And wait for more, coming soon.